What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Man Cave. We are Corey and Ryan, and you are listening to the Much About Nothing podcast, the show where we give expert takes and good-hearted debates. We will talk ball, we will talk sports, and anything and everything else. Today, we'll be breaking down all aspects of Super Bowl 57, Eagles and Chiefs. If you got something to say, put it in the comments. If you're new to the pod, greetings. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, smash that bell. If you are already part of the fam, welcome back. Please like, share, and comment. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Corey, let's get into it.
Yes, ready to get into this thing, dive in and beat on my man Hamp with these good-hearted debates. These good-hearted debates, as always ready, locked and loaded, ready to go. So, I guess we'll go ahead and start this thing off. If you ready, we're gonna rock this thing like this. We're talking about the defenses versus the offenses, every aspect. So I start off with Kansas City Chiefs rush defense. I believe this is where this game starts. I mean, if Kansas City can't find a way to slow down the Philadelphia Eagles rush offense, this game can get out of hand very quickly. But the things that I have learned throughout this thing is that Kansas City is particularly good against the rush, man. They're not just this old run of a mill defense. They are coming ready. I think they're ranked ninth. They're ranked ninth against the run. And anytime we want to talk about any game, particular game that the Eagles have played, I think we have to bring up that Commanders game. Commanders versus the Eagles. That was a game. If you want to mimic how you attack the Eagles, I think you mimic that game. And I think the Chiefs have the personnel on defense to do so. I mean, particularly when it's coming down to it, when you limit Jalen Hurts, what you want to do is kind of make him a interior pocket passer because he's way better as a passer when he in private. When he get outside of that pocket, he can really get the ball down the field. So what you want to do is you want to rush him, but you want to rush and contain him because you don't need him to get out there because it can get real nasty if he get out on them wings and run that thing. That's what you want to do. You want to limit him by keeping him in a pocket and containing your rush lanes. And that's what the Kansas City Chiefs need to do. But they have great, great talent. And I didn't know this. This dude by the name of Nick Bolton, their middle linebacker. If you don't know, that man is second in tackles. I think he has 108. That boy is very, very, very talented. Him along with Frank Clark, them boys can really shut down the run game. They're very, very talented. I mean, I like what they bring to the table. I did not know this. I mean, going into this thing, I thought the Eagles gonna have a field day, but hey man, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm really like what they're doing. But like I said, in that Commanders game, Jalen Hurts averages 11 rush attempts a game. The Commanders held him to 6. Even though he did get loose for a rushing touchdown, he was only held to 26 yards, 28 yards rushing. And along with holding your boy y'all running back to 54 yards, Miles Sanders, they held him to 54 yards, and Keenan Gainwell and Boston Scott combined for 12 yards. And what they did was stay disciplined. And that's what the Kansas City Chiefs need to do: stay disciplined. If anything, Kansas City is bad against the pass. But I mean, I'm not of the mindset that Jalen Hurts is a top five passer. I believe he's a top five quarterback, but I do not believe he's a top five passer in the NFL. I just don't. I don't believe. I think he got arm talent, but most of that starts with the legs. At the end of the day, if you force him to make these reads, he's got to show me that he can do that. And I have not seen that yet. What I have seen for him, be able to get out in the pocket and as things break down, he can get the ball out to the guys. But can he sit in that pocket and make one, two, three reads and hit those guys on target and on time? I mean, it remains to be seen. I'm gonna say, he got to show me. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Missouri. It's the state of show me. You got to show me, bro. I mean, if you could do a show, you know.
Hmm.
So that's on you. I'm gonna pass it back to you and let you go ahead and toss out your pretty sure they'll get you a little fired up. But on to the Philadelphia Rush offense.
Okay. Well, if you're asking the question of whether he can read, luckily, his offensive line is hooked on phonics.
Mm,
The Philadelphia Eagles entered the season as the number one rush offensive line coming into the season. Did you know that every single week they have stayed at that position
mm-hmm,
this entire season? They do not have one single starting offensive lineman that is less than sixth at his position.
mm-hmm,
Hmm. Every member is a top 10 player.
mm-hmm,
And let's just talk about Lane Johnson. The entire season, 600 pass blocking snaps. He's only given up 11 pressures. That means he only let a guy get close to Jalen Hurts 11 times all
mm-hmm,
season. So when you say, their defense, they pass, come on, man. You're talking about something
mm-hmm,
totally elite. This
mm-hmm,
offense, if we could learn to appreciate offensive line play, then we would realize this is the actual best unit on the football field, period.
mm-hmm,
Period. Let's break down some numbers since we talked about the defense. Let's talk about Eagles offense.
mm-hmm.
All right. This year, they ran the ball for 2,509 yards. How you feel about that?
I think they're very very good at running
Well,
the ball. I think
okay.
they're very very good at running the ball. I think they're the best running offense in the game right now.
Okay.
I will say that. Yeah,
They
what they bring with their read option is very
okay.
very talented.
They ran for 32 touchdowns.
Hmm.
What you think about that?
I think they are dominant against the run. I mean, I don't really have that. But what you, I mean, what you got to meet me at is I don't want them to really particularly pressure Jalen Hurt. What I
Mm,
want them to do is stay gap sound.
mm,
They're gap sound. And now Kansas City, this would be crazy if I'm talking about the 22nd rush defense and like they got a bunch of scrubs out there, but they are not scrubs. Dumb boys come out there and they are good at limiting the run,
okay.
particularly well. They're ninth in rush rush
Okay.
defense. Their
Okay,
rankings
Corey.
are up there.
Now I could beat this drum all day, but I'm not gonna do
Mhm.
that. Now let's talk about the guys you said can't read defenses.
Okay.
Eagles threw the ball 4,364 yards.
Mhm.
Make that make sense if he can't do it.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You're not challenging my argument. My argument is
Because
hold
I'm
on.
gonna continue. I'm gonna continue. I'm
All
gonna
right.
continue this because the disrespect will not. We will not continue to disrespect the Jalen Hurts here.
I'm
All
not
right. So,
disrespecting them.
okay. Do you want to know how many times the
Okay.
Eagles have been sacked all season?
How many times?
44 times.
All right.
Okay.
Let me clearly state my argument. Jalen Hurts passes the ball. He's
Mm-hmm.
good at passing. What I said that he does not do particularly well at is sitting in the pocket and passing. He
Okay.
usually gets outside, and when things break down and
Mm-hmm.
people rush in to try to tackle him, he makes throws in improvisation. In
Okay.
the improv, when things break down, he's very, very good at that. But as far as sitting in the pocket and making reads,
Mm,
that has not been shown yet. I
mm.
mean, we want to break it down. We got to break down that the game where he was shut down, particularly running the ball, and he had to make reads. That
Okay.
was the Commanders game.
Okay.
The
All right. So,
Commanders game was a
so,
good game
so,
for them.
so, so let's
It's a
compare him.
litmus test.
Let's compare. Let's use the litmus test. Let's use the best passer in the game, Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, very, very talented. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, in a clean pocket, Patrick Mahomes, his passer rating is 117.2.
Mm,
Jalen Hurts is 111.
mm-hmm,
So we're not talking about a big drop off. Okay, under pressure. The passer rating under pressure for Mahomes, 78.
mm-hmm,
Hurts, 67. Turnover worthy plays, Patrick Mahomes throws 2.24 of those a game to Jalen Hurts 1.9. Right now they have Jalen Hurts is the fifth rated quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is the first. So let's not act like it's a big drop off between the guy. The guy the guy's good, man. He's good.
So what we saying is Jalen Hurts is up there with Patrick Mahomes. Is that what we saying? Hey, chat. Is that what we hearing right here? Is Jalen Hurts the same caliber of passer as a Pat Mahomes?
Did I say he's the same caliber?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying as quarterback.
I'm saying that the lazy analysis of saying that he just ain't that good, it's just not right.
I can name 5 quarterbacks that could pass the football better than Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I don't care. Name 10, and ask me how many of them are going to be
Okay.
playing on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's not the, but that's measuring him as a quarterback. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback, but that's bringing where he. If Jalen Hurts couldn't run a ball, he wouldn't be as talented. That's it. Let's just knock that out. You take the running out, he's not even top 20.
Okay.
At the end of the day, most of the things coming off of his feet, his athleticism. At the end of the day, as a passer alone, I have yet to see that. I mean, I'm not saying this man go through reads, go through sets, and dump it off. He might do it once or twice, but that is not the bulk of his game. Let's be real, man. This guy is very, very talented in that read option scheme and getting outside and throwing the ball when things break down. He's great. He's one of the best at it right now. I'll give him that. And you could be very talented at one thing and not as another and still get great production. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. And kudos to him. I'm not knocking him for that. Hey, it's gonna make that man $1 million man. Hey, I back him up. I like him on my team. Can I say that? I wish I had him.
Okay, so all right, because you're bringing out this if he couldn't run the ball, he wouldn't
Yeah.
be this or what. I mean, that's like saying if Pat couldn't pass the ball, he wouldn't be as great as he is.
But we
Like
have
that.
seen teams limit him from running the ball. You stay gap sound, keep him in the pocket, and stop rushing him and getting outside of your lane trying to get to him. Now, let's don't blitz, don't impress him. Just sit right there on the line and stay gap sound. Wait for him.
We are talking about a MVP candidate, and you talking like we talking about cat food.
Is he
You
gonna
got
win
like
the MVP?
nah,
Is
we
he
talking
gonna win?
about cat food. And listen, the only reason he's not going to win is because he
Mhm.
missed 2 games. If he doesn't win,
Who gonna win? Pat
I don't know. They don't let me vote.
Mahomes.
They don't let me vote. But listen, I've said this weeks ago, and I'm gonna continuously say it. A healthy Jalen Hurts, there is no answer to that offense. That team can do anything and everything that he wants to do when he is healthy. No defense can stop it. He can
Mhm.
run the ball, he can pass the ball, and there's nothing that can be done. Absolutely nothing. Now,
Mm.
let's go ahead and let's move on to the Eagles. Oh,
No,
where
I
you want to
think we
go
can't
into?
see it. Then
Oh,
we had the Kansas City
the cat.
pass defense.
We're going with the Kansas City pass defense. Oh Lord.
All right. I mean, at base value, and just looking at this thing, you would think they're pretty bad. But like I said, I think the goal here, like I said, the goal is to contain Jalen Hurts in the pocket. You don't really particularly need to get after him and sack him because the Commanders only sacked him one time in that game. You don't need to sack him. You don't need to contain him. I'm not looking for pressures, even though the thing that's probably going to be the problem here, they are number 2 in sacks right behind y'all. And I don't want that to get to their heads. I want them to understand they need to stay gap sound and force that man to pass the ball. Because I mean, if I may say so myself, I mean the Kansas City Chiefs already faced a harder test last week. Are we unless we're going to be like my co-host here and think AJ Brown and Devontae Adams and this new coming of Randy Moss and Chris Carter. But nah, I mean, I think T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are the more potent combination. I think they're the better combination. And even though they didn't shut them down, they did particularly well. Granted, they were missing their starting run on right cornerback that will be back in this game. And we are to believe because he having a press conference today. And most likely we gonna keep with the history, if they have press conference, most likely they will play. So if L'Jarius Sneed plays in this game, they have their right cornerback back in that game that was missing in the other game. And Trent McDuffie is no scrub. That number one pick I think it's TCU. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's TCU. Is a talented corner. He's not no scrub. He's a gamer. He's going to get out there, and he made great tackles against Jamar Chase last week, and I think that's what he got to do. He's going to have to tackle AJ Brown in space, and that's what AJ Brown want to do. He want to get physical with you, and Trent McDuffie is best asset is his tackling. He's very very good in tackle, and I mean I like this Kansas City Chief secondary. I didn't know them before breaking down this thing, but come to find out they're only not known because they're so young. Most people just don't know them because they're young, not because they're not talented. It's because they're just young. They just ain't had too much to show. But I think we're gonna all know their names by the end of this game. If they bring what they bring against the Bengals, unless y'all tell me in the chat what wide receiver duo y'all think better? AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, or do y'all think it's T Higgins and Jamar Chase? I mean, I think we can get through that very quick.
Hey, look, I tell you what. The only things that Randy Moss, Chris Carter got in common with Jamar Chase and T Higgins is that neither one of them will be playing next weekend. That's the only thing they got in common.
Nah, I'm thinking that your comparison of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is like that. That's the next coming of Randy Moss and Chris Carter. I don't believe neither one of those duos are that.
No, this is the next coming of AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Okay.
I mean, we have two Batmans, no Robins. Like, and this duo is just as talented as any duo in the NFL. I believe it's the best duo in football. But it ain't what we here to talk about today. We here to talk about the Super Bowl.
So they better than Jamar Chase and T Higgins.
Listen, right now. They sitting by the pool right now. They sitting by the pool right now.
Put those laughs out there, LT. Hilarious. This is hilarious, man.
Okay, man, let's talk about the TV. Hey, look, don't try to change the subject, man. You had one task. Okay. Here goes the task. Let's finish with that. You pass?
Pass it on to you. Philadelphia passing offense.
Okay. 4,364 passing yards. They're averaging 12.5 yards per reception. 25 touchdowns. They get. I mean, this passing offense is just as good as the rushing offense. Man, listen, I don't care what you say about which guy they put here, which rookie they put out there. Ain't nobody out there for the Chiefs that can match up with those two guys over there. It's gonna take a group effort. It's gonna take a collaboration. It's gonna take a collaboration to stop that. And don't forget that Dallas Goedert can't be touched. He can't be touched out there, man. I'm telling you, he will be just as effective if need be as Kelce this game, if need be. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And listen, man, I don't even think we got to spend a lot of time against this. This is the biggest. All right, the best unit is the Eagles' offensive line. The biggest matchup, though, is that secondary of the Chiefs against the Eagles' wide receiver core. That's the biggest matchup discrepancy. Because if you think that Patrick Mahomes is that much better than Jalen Hurts, the gap between the receivers and the cornerbacks is bigger.
I want to correct something that Hamp LT saying in the chat. I'm not saying that I think Chris Carter and Randy Moss is Jamar Chase and T Higgins. I'm saying that if we're going off of what my co-host is saying, he think AJ Brown and Devontae Adams is Randy Moss and T Higgins. I mean, it's Randy Moss and Chris Carter. No, these boys are not that good. T Higgins and Jamar Chase are better, are the better combination, and they limit them last week. They did a great job missing their starting right cornerback.
Hey, Corey,
this is a lesser secondary. Let's be truthful. This wide receivers are lesser.
Hey, with those two Hall of Famers, how many Super Bowls they win together?
None.
I rest my case.
That's the statement we're gonna make it.
I,
So
I
every
rest
Super Bowl team. So
I rest my case.
Cooper Cup last year was they had the best wide receiver core. Whoever was the second person after what's name got hurt.
I'm talking about the gold jackets, man. I'm
Uh,
talking about gold jackets. You had a gold jacket on the left and a gold jacket on the right. How many Super Bowls y'all win?
Zero.
Okay, let's
Zero.
move along.
Let's move along.
let's move.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold on. Let me say that. I love hearing Eagle fans acting like their team don't need to take the field to win football games. I agree, Matt. Matt, I'm here with you. I think Eagles fans think they already won just by, by being on TV. If they coming on, you know what I'm saying, prime time show, they think the game is won.
The
It's
game is.
won. Like Pat Mahomes ain't on the other side of that ball.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hey, I'm prepared to come in here with my heart broken.
Hey, well,
I'm,
we're gonna
I'm,
move.
I'm, I'm prepared to come in here with my heart broken. I'm speaking what I say, man. It's just my passion speaking right now.
All
All right,
right.
let's move along. What you got?
Philadelphia's rush defense.
Oh man, that's scary, Cora. That's scary. You want to go with that first?
Yeah, I don't think it's that scary. I think that's probably the weakest part of that defense, if I had to say so.
The Eagles rush.
Rush defense is probably the weakest part of the defense. That pass defense is probably the better side of it. They
Oh,
number
you.
one in pass.
Hmm. Okay. All right. I guess I give you that. Except for the fact that they only gave up 2,000 yards rushing this season.
Mm-hmm. And what's that rank?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it's like 20th. I think they right there by the Minnesota Vikings, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And I know what my defense was. Trash. Trash. Don't even look it up, yo.
And look here. Here goes the
You don't
second
want to be
part.
anywhere near Minnesota Vikings defense in any ranking. It is not good for you, sir. It is not
Okay.
good.
And then with the passing yards, we only given up 3,500. I mean 3,057 passing yards. So when teams can't pass the ball, you got to do something. You have to do something to kill the downs. So you got to do
Mm-hmm.
something. I mean, they are. I mean, I don't want to upset Matt here, but that Russian defense is just as good as that pass defense. The
Mm.
interior defensive line is dominant. We got 8 guys that we can rotate in and out against that 5 offensive linemen. They're gonna be fresh the entire game. Again, in the trenches, I think that we're just better. I think we're just better.
I would agree with you, but if you want to say the Eagles offensive line is good, what do you think of the Chiefs offensive line? You think they Creed Humphreys is one of the best centers in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Like Brown on the outside, that left tackle is one of the best in the game, if I'm not mistaken. These guys are talented. It ain't like they got scrubs on their side of the ball.
I didn't
We
say
we
that.
have great teams matching against great teams. But
Yeah.
I mean I digress. I think the Eagles' rush defense is talented, but just lesser than that pass defense. I think that pass defense is tremendous. But if any weakness were to be presented, it'd be the it'd be their rush defense. Yeah, they're very, very talented. But if you can get up to those linebackers and they don't I don't think I don't even think the goal is for the Chiefs to run the ball particularly well.
Mm.
I think they just need to be able to run the ball. We went through this several times, even when talking about Tampa. If you come out there and your mindset is I'm gonna have Pat Mahomes throw this ball 50 times, with Andy Reid, that might be his game plan. But if I had to choose, that's a losing game plan.
Mm.
Nobody's gonna come out there and say I'm gonna win this game by passing the ball 50 times. That's not a winning game plan. You
Mm-hmm.
can win the game that way, but I wouldn't come into the game trying to win it that way. You need to establish a run game because you don't want to be one dimensional. At the end of the day, the goal for the Chiefs is not be one dimensional. It's not get 100 yards, not get 200 yards. It's not be one dimensional. Don't let them telegraph your game. And I think that if you done, I can go into the
Yeah.
Chiefs
No,
rush.
I got one thing that I want to say
All right.
about it. I don't know if you remember in the draft last year,
Mm.
N'Kobe Dean.
The Kobe
He
Dean, yeah,
he was the
time.
Mike linebacker for that the
From
national
Georgia, right?
champion. Nah,
Yeah.
Yeah, for Georgia.
Okay,
And
from Georgia.
I thought he was the best. I thought that he was the best linebacker in football.
He fell.
But look, he can't even get on the field with the Eagles. We can't even get the boy on the field. That's how talented the linebacker core is.
I don't know
TJ,
about that. I don't know about that. He fell in the draft. He was a projected top 10 pick. You know, I follow the draft. He was
yeah,
projected top 10. When did y'all pick him up? I think
we
y'all
got him in.
picked him up in the what
Yeah, we
round?
got him second round in a second.
He dropped. He fell. What reason
Yeah,
did he
so,
fall
no,
from?
I don't know,
He might
but
can't secure that spot.
mm, I'm just saying that when you go down to, and I know you hate these PFF rankings, TJ Edwards is he's one of the better linebackers in the NFL this year.
Mhm.
That's 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 the facts. He's been outstanding. He is equally as good against the run as he is in the pass. TJ Edwards, I
Mhm.
think they have him ranked as number 6 linebacker.
I would
The guy's
agree. I
playing good
just don't want
football.
us. I don't want us to get confused that just because a talented linebacker is ahead of N'Kobe Dean, that we thinking N'Kobe Dean is the guy in waiting. No, he might just be a scrub, and you just might got a great player. I mean, he fell for a reason. He fell for a reason.
It is a possibility. It is
He
a
was
possibility.
projected top
I don't
10.
think it's a likely
He
possibility,
fell.
but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, Core.
All
Now what
right,
you got?
moving on. You know, we got the Kansas City Rush offense. I chimed in on a little bit, but I want to bring up LT comment right here. He said I'm more concerned with Andy Reid out coaching himself. I would agree. Andy Reid could come out this thing, and for some reason, think he needs to be all and show every play in his book. No, he need to be very very simple with this game and to force the Eagles to make the first read move to get outside of that element. I think at the end of the day, you know what you have in Patrick Mahomes. I think you know you can always throw the ball, but let's not put that in that situation. Let's see, can we get out ahead of these guys, and put the challenge on Jalen Hurts on the other side. Pat Mahomes been here before. I know he could survive pressure. I'd rather see that from Jalen Hurts. So we got to be able to run this ball and keep it close. And like I said, I don't think that the Chiefs need to run the ball well. I think they just need to be able to run the ball. If bring it back up, this gonna be a constant game I come back to. Because like I say, if you want to mimic a game to beat the Eagles, I think it's that Washington Commanders game. The Commanders, let me go down to this. Let me make sure I get these statistics right. Number one, I want to bring up Clyde is running in this game. Why does that matter? Because Pachenko, uh, yes, he's a good runner, but you can telegraph that play calls because we know he cannot pass block. If he's in the game, most likely the Chiefs will run the ball. And Jared McKinnon's in the game, most likely they're going to pass the ball. When you have Clyde in, you're not capable of telegraphing that thing because he do both particularly well. Not great, but well. When he's in the game, you can pass or run the ball. He's very, very good at that. So, like I said, when when the when the Commanders played the Eagles, they ran the ball less than 3 yards per carry. They averaged 2.8 yards per carry, but they ran the ball 49 times. They ran the ball 49 times, and they still scored 32 points. At the end of the day, the goal is to get those rush attempts, punt that ball, play field position. And then if the game get down to the wire, you got the better quarterback that can throw the ball. I mean, I know him probably think he has the better quarterback, but most people are going to accept the fact that Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. At the end of the day, that man is greatness. And if anybody wanted a quarterback on their sideline to lead a game scoring drive, give me Patrick Mahomes. Like that's what I need this game to come down to. Because I will admit the Chiefs are punching above their weights. If we're going to match up these teams, the Eagles are a better team. So the game is
Mm.
you got to make this a slugfest. You got to make it an ugly dog fight. I don't want to get in a shootout with these guys because they're able to run this ball and keep Pat Mahomes on the sideline a lot more. So you need to, in return, do the same. Challenge them and don't be one sided. I think establishing the run, not being well, like I said, Commanders only average less than 3 yards per carry. You don't need to be great at running the ball. Run the ball. I want to see the attempts past 40. I want the attempts to be past 40. Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back into what you said because Todd was bringing up the special teams. I want to
Mm-hmm.
go back to what you said about the coach. Now, I love me some Andy Reid. Told you several times, I love me some Andy Reid. But anybody that follows Andy Reid, they know Andy Reid biggest problem is he is still not gotten to the modern game of managing the clock. His clock management might be the worst in the
It's
NFL.
poor, man. It's
I
poor.
mean, it's almost as if he does not understand the time and time distance, and I mean, it's almost like every 4 games he does something clock management wise. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I do believe that he's forgotten more football than Sirianni knows right now. But one thing that Sirianni's doing right now that's better than everybody else in the league is his in-game adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
You see games where the Eagles are running the ball heavily in the first half, and next thing you know, they come out and pass. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they switch like that. If you think you went to halftime and you got them figured out, you might be getting something totally new outside of halftime. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like he goes to the game with 2 game scripts and is prepared to run with both of them. The team is to me, this is the most prepared Eagles team that I've seen because they execute no matter what they're doing. So that
Mm-hmm.
means that they're getting the preparation in, and it speaks of the caliber athlete that they're bringing in that can absorb that type of information. I do believe, like I said, I think Andy Reid has forgotten more football than Sirianni knows, and I still, for some reason, feel like the coaching advantage right now is who should be the coach of the year. I think it should be
I'm
Sirianni.
I mean, it's sad to say. I agree with you. I am particularly worried about Andy Reid's, man, because Andy Reid's lost a lot of games, man, in his career. His fault. I think he really need to look at getting somebody to manage that thing on the sideline to help him with that thing. Just get a guy on the sideline just to manage the clock. I mean, sometimes I do believe it's man, it's probably in his head that he don't want to change it up, what's been working. But at the end of the day, you have to manage the clock. And he hasn't understood that all of his career, even when he won, it ain't like he did it to win. He does. I think he is allergic to running the ball.
And
And if they
and
lose the game, it's because they're not gonna run the ball. They're gonna think that they can just shoot it out and pass it. And I don't like that. I don't like that script. I don't like that game plan for him. Not at
it,
all. I think they need to run the ball even if it doesn't work. Even if it
and then
doesn't
not
work right.
and then not to mention this, Andy Reid has 1 or 2 plays that right now that he's giggling that he's gonna do that's gonna be ridiculous.
Mm,
That he's
mm,
waiting for the time to run it, and it's cute when it happens. It's cute when you see Patrick Mahomes lining up behind a tight end and they snap the ball to the kicker and he. Like this weird stuff that Andy Reid has 1 or 2 of those games. He has 1 or 2 of those in his playbook right now. It's exciting, but really isn't necessary. The second thing when it
mm.
comes to aggressiveness, the Eagles are aggressive when it comes to fourth downs. They have converted 22 of 32 fourth downs.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are prepared to lead a punt at home. we, we are prepared. We are prepared.
Mhm.
If that's necessary, we will leave him at home.
Mhm.
Uh, the question was, are we doing an injury report?
Mhm. Our injury report day will be Thursday. We are diving into some of the injuries into this game. Like I did mention, uh Jared Sneed, I don't know whether he's questionable for
Uh,
this game. I believe
yeah,
he's playing because he's in the press conference. If you have a press conference, more than likely you're gonna play along with what's that wide receiver? The one
yeah.
from
I already pulled it up. I got it, man.
yeah,
So
going to
starting with the Chiefs,
mm,
McCole Hartman. He has
yeah.
not practiced on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. He is
Mm.
doubtful to play.
I think he's
Juju,
on the injury report. I think he
yeah.
went to injury reserve. Then I think they
Now,
they switched him out for when they brought up Clad. If
yeah,
I'm not mistaken, he went. Yeah.
Juju. He has not participated Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They still got him as questionable. Ladarius
Mm,
Sneed from his concussion. He has not practiced on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week. He's
mm.
still questionable. Same thing. Willie Gay. He hasn't practiced either. Um, and everybody else is 50-50 right now.
I mean, if
Uh,
I don't think any of them practice. What they posting right there is if they practice, this what they would have been doing.
no, this was last week. Yeah, this was last
They
week. This
did
is all
practice
last
last
week.
week.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm
these
saying.
guys didn't. These guys didn't practice.
All right.
And then for the Eagles, um, we had a few did not participate, but they all are for rest. All of them have a rest designation. There's
Mm-hmm.
no real injury, like elbow or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it's still early. It's still early right now to see. But the only guy that looks like he's not going to play is McCole Hardman, and I'm leaning towards Juju. Probably won't play either.
I think Juju playing. I told you. I mean, we're gonna believe what history tells us. If they have press conferences, they're most likely gonna play. If you're not gonna speak to the media if you're not showing up in this game.
Mm,
I
I
have
mean, it's
never seen
possible.
that before. I never seen that before. If you're taking on questions, you're playing this game. I think he plays. Whether he's limited, I don't know, but I think he plays. If I was a betting man, and I will put money on seeing Juju and Legere Sneed in this game. I see both of them, and I think that's both of them are necessary, are big pieces to this game. But on to this next one. You have what we on
Passing defense.
passing
Eagles.
defense. Yeah.
Eagles passing defense. Man. What do you want to say about that? Darius Slay, um, Bradbury. If they could participate in the Pro Bowl, they would be. These guys have been amazing all year. I've already brought up the numbers when it came to the passing stats, but I'm gonna bring them up again. Their defense, we are giving up for passing yards. On average, oh, I'm sorry. Let's start with the defense. They're giving up 70 sacks. We've gotten 70 sacks so far.
Mm-hmm.
Passing yards, we've only given up 3,057 pass yards. I mean, if you really break that down over a 17 game season, like that Eagles pass, that's historically good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and I'm just not afraid of what those guys are throwing out at receiver. Not afraid
Are
of it.
are you afraid of Pat Mahomes? I just want
Yeah.
to hear you say that. You're not worried about Patrick Mahomes?
No,
Not at
I
all.
said Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL,
Mm. All right.
and
So,
and I think that he's going to do a good job hitting these guys from 7 to 8 yards.
so
he's
that's
gonna
what I want. That's what I want.
he's gonna accurately hit those guys from 7 to 8
Yeah,
yards.
I
Yeah,
would
I mean
want that.
those guys will not be blown by anybody. They won't be doing that. Tony Tony can break loose, um,
Mm.
but he only allows himself to be tackled 3 times a game. He makes good business decisions.
I mean, I think the Eagles' pass defense is particularly well, but if I say one thing that they don't do well is tackle. They don't tackle at the corner position that very well. So, if I kind of look forward to that being because I'm more afraid of the Eagles' rush. And I think Patrick Mahomes wants to get that ball out quick. So those 7 to 8 yard throws, that's where I think you go with. I don't think you line up deep, long developing routes. I think what you do, you get the ball out quick and make those corners tackle in space. And they show me y'all want to get down and dirty. So yeah, I think that's exactly what they want. That's where the battle's gonna be met at, is whether these Eagles corners can tackle these Chiefs receivers. And Patrick Mahomes getting that ball out of his hands quick, which I believe Patrick Mahomes is very capable of doing. I don't question that at all. Patrick Mahomes is going to be. I mean, if y'all could tell me in the chat, have y'all ever seen a game where Patrick Mahomes didn't play well?
Okay.
I don't think we have. If it happens in
Well,
this game, be a first. Be a
well, I'm,
first.
I'm gonna say this: during the regular season, the Eagles secondary ranked first in combined forced incompletions and interceptions.
What's the best quarterback they played?
They were third in 15 plus yard passes allowed and second in open target percentage. So that secondary that you talk about, they're pretty good.
Best quarterback they played.
Play what's in front of you.
What's the best quarterback they played?
Man, I'm not going to do this whole they didn't play nobody thing. You
I'm
play
not
what's in,
saying they ain't play
you
nobody.
play what's in front of you, Cord.
Hey guys, I'm just saying the best quarterback they played. I mean, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers, a wash guy. Yeah, I mean that's it.
Hey, you know who we play? I know we played the Vikings.
Hey, Point taken. Kirk Cousins, guys. That's who we
We
basing this off of. Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers in his they trading him this year. That's how bad he did. They're
okay.
willing to get off of that $50 million very, very quick. I don't think they've seen anything of the likes of a Patrick Mahomes. I don't think
Uh
you can
oh.
combine all those
Uh
quarterbacks.
oh. Uh
Patrick
oh. Uh
Mahomes
oh.
is
Uh
different.
oh. Uh oh. He coming for you, man. He said check. He said check your boys' stats against the Raiders the second time they played.
Oh,
Oh, we got a fact check. We got a fact check coming
let's see.
from the
I
conversation,
asked him
Corey.
to tell me what's the worst game Patrick Mahomes played.
Well, then
I
pull it up. Pull it
tell me.
up.
Let me see. I want to see how bad this game is because I know we holding them to a strong criteria.
Okay, let's see, Corey. You asked for it. He delivered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank you for looking it up, man. I definitely. Hold on. Chiefs. All right, here we go. Chiefs. Second game, right? Say second game.
Mm-hmm.
Second game versus the Raiders. 202 and one touchdown.
There you go.
That
You
game.
asked the You asked the question. He gave you an answer.
Guess what the score was?
What's the score, Corey?
31-13.
Mm.
So you know there was a particular blowout where he didn't have to pass the ball.
But Corey, is that
Come on,
listen?
man.
Didn't we
Come
just
on.
do this? Didn't we just do this last week
It
when
was
you
18
asked
for
me? No,
26.
when you asked me Jalen Hurts numbers in the playoffs, and I gave you the exact explanation, you wasn't buying it.
Mhm.
You wasn't buying it, but now you're buying
Oh, I
into it.
didn't.
It fit the
No, I
narrative
didn't.
now.
I
It fit
just
the
said
narrative.
it. I said it remained to be seen. I didn't say. I have never insulted. I don't know why you trying to put me on this bandwagon now. I'm against Jalen Hurts. I'm saying when measured to Pat Mahomes, hey man, he throwing rocks at the throne, man. Listen, he's down. He's looking up like that, neck broke. He's not nowhere near that man right now, man. Like, let's be real. But if we're going to say Patrick Mahomes, that's a bad game for Patty. I would say that's a bad game for Patty. But let's look at that score. It's 31-13, man. What was he needed in that game to pass the ball? I stick with my assessment. I have yet to see Patrick Mahomes have a bad game.
Okay.
And I don't I mean Eagles might be the first, and I'm pretty sure all of their jerseys gonna go off and they're gonna take this to the Hall of Fame by the end of the game and say, this is the game that Pat Mahomes had a bad. We Eagles jerseys all lined up because they all need to go to the hall if they hold Pat Mahomes to a bad game. I just don't see it happen. Let's be
Okay.
real here. Let's be
All right.
real here. And
All right.
I
So,
want to go into this. Oh, you
yeah, I
still
just
got
want to.
more?
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and sum up. I want to sum up what we went over. All right. So when it came to the quarterbacks, we gave advantage Chiefs. Running backs, we went advantage Eagles.
Mhm,
Wide receivers, we went advantage Eagles.
mhm,
Tight end, we went advantage Chiefs. Offensive line, we went advantage Eagles.
mhm,
Defensive line, we went advantage Eagles.
mhm,
Linebacker, we went with a draw. Secondary, we went advantage Eagles.
mhm.
So what does that tell you, Corey?
I agree, but the major thing, what this we you cannot take a game at that thing because the biggest thing when measuring anything is
It's
quarterback
quarterback
position,
play. Okay.
quarterback play, and
All right.
Pat Mahomes is the better quarterback, man. At the end of
So
the day,
you still thinking we had a coin toss here in this game?
I think the Eagles are the better team, but I'm gonna switch my pick. I'm gonna switch my picks from what I learned today because I did not know this Chiefs defense is a good. I tell y'all, chat, go look at these Chiefs defense. Maybe you didn't know like me. I didn't know. They are particularly good, man. They're not a bad defense. They're not a bad defense.
Listen, in no position, if you make it to the Super Bowl, more than likely, you're not going to be bad at anything.
Mm-hmm.
You may be
Mm-hmm.
average or something, but again, as Todd said, that's probably why Vegas came up with their 2 points.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be a
eh,
particular close game.
I
One
hope
score
not.
game.
I hope not. All right,
Who you
Corey, what
hoping
you?
for? A blowout? Oh, I still
Yeah.
got the Chiefs offense. I still got and
Okay. Let's go.
it's not. It ain't gonna be that long. It's very, very quick. I just want to say let's not kid ourselves. Chiefs passing offense is one of the best in the NFL. This is Goliath versus Goliath. These are or David versus David, however you feel on the end of that spectrum. But they are two Titans versus two Titans. The Eagles pass defense is number one, but they're facing the number one pass offense. And I'm gonna go with Pat. At any turn, I'm sorry. I don't believe Patrick Mahomes can be stopped. At the end of the day, your best bet is trying to limit him by running the ball and keep him off the field. What the Eagles do particularly well. That's why this game kind of worries me about the Chiefs winning because they can keep Pat Mahomes on the sideline. They have the ability to do that. But if we're going to talk about Pat Mahomes' ability to throw the ball because the Eagles have some cornerback that played good against some scrubs, no, I'm sorry. Pat Mahomes will be lining up at cornerback and he'll do his same old scenario. You see him out there like this. Come on back to the jump. Y'all stop that play. Let me give him a no. He's gonna line it up and he's gonna throw that rock. It's gonna be particularly hard to hit him. I know they got 70 sacks, but this is Pat Mahomes.
Mm.
These are Pat Mahomes. Numbers are built because of the teams you play. They played the Giants twice. They had Daniel Jones that they can tee off on a lot of those games. They got a lot of sacks, majority of the sacks against scrub teams. This is Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to hit this man. Let's not forget who he is. This man has been here before, and we have seen him before. And I don't think that's the best defense he's just seen.
Mm.
I think that 49ers defense that he saw in the Super Bowl he won was a better defense. I'm sorry. I'm going with that defense over this defense. This defense is well, but I'm going with that 49ers defense as a better defense, and Pat Mahomes lit them up. I have never seen him not light a defense up. Right? The best defense, we're going to say he ain't never met a good one, and we didn't know they were good because he tore them up. He
Mm.
shredded them. And I think he'll do the same thing to this. They come on now. And I don't care who he got at quarter. I don't care who he got at receiver. At the end of the day, he has enough. He got somebody. Get the guy from Food Line down the road. He's still gonna turn out good. 300 yards.
One possession game or two possession game?
One possession. It's gonna be one possession. I'm gonna change it to the Eagles, but one possession game that might be what that's it could be 8 or less points. One possession. If they win, it's gonna be by somebody trying to move the ball and score on the game winning drive. And they're gonna fail.
Mm. Okay.
Slay with the interception. I do got Slay having an interception. Yep. I picked that in to write that down. I got Slay with an interception. But just because Pat Mahomes throw a pick don't mean he's still gonna have a bad game. One interception is not a bad game. That guy is gonna light it up. He's gonna light it up. And I
Okay.
look forward to Pat Mahomes showing us why he's the best quarterback in the NFL and why all of us just wasting our money on these other quarterbacks. We need to find us a Patrick Mahomes. I still go crazy over the fact that the Bears passed on this man.
Mm.
Passed on him
Yeah.
for
Well,
Mitch Trubisky.
luckily for our listeners, we're gonna break down our draft, our draft prospects going forward, and we're gonna see exactly how you get it wrong because we're gonna get it
Mm.
wrong. Hey, that's the human
I
aspect
don't
of it.
really get it that wrong. My
Okay.
team don't pick the guy that I think they should have picked. I mean, I could say the worst pick that I probably can say that I didn't want them to select Justin Jefferson. Not because Justin Jefferson wasn't well. I thought what Justin Jefferson was good at, Adam Thielen was good at. Adam Thielen was particularly a better slot receiver, probably the best slot receiver in the game at the time. And Justin Jefferson ran most of his plays out of LSU. Anybody that knows that, out of the slot. So I didn't want another slot receiver. I thought he was a dominant guy, but I wanted Jalen Rager. I admit to my faults, man. That's probably
But
the bad. The
but you
worst.
got
I'm
Jalen
happy
Rager.
for it.
You got
Yeah, and
Jalen Rager now. Yeah,
I'm
you
glad I
got him
was
now.
wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. Nothing wrong with that. That's probably the worst
Okay.
mistake I ever made in draft. I liked them out of TCU. How did you feel when they selected?
I felt like the entire Eagle fan base, we were disappointed.
That y'all ain't go with Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
Let's say Justin Jefferson wasn't there. Would you would have been mad by Jalen?
Yeah, I mean because the guy,
He
the guy
reminded me of
was
Stephon Diggs at the time. That's
he
what we
was.
lost.
Oh no, I didn't think he was Stephon Diggs. I thought he was a kick returner with questionable instincts,
Hmm.
and he ended up being a kick returner with questionable instincts.
I would agree. I would agree. I would agree. Cut
Yeah,
that man. He robbed us. He
yeah,
robbed us.
yeah,
Godly.
he's yeah. He
Every
won't
time
make
on
it.
punt return, I'm looking at him like, please don't drop this thing.
Yeah,
Don't drop
just
this thing.
he's questionable. Yeah. But anywho, that was old. That was old Howard. The new Howard, he drafts a lot better now. He had an intervention.
He got
Somebody
a lot
talked
more
to him.
picks. He got a lot more picks now.
Yeah, he makes better decisions, man. He makes much better decisions.
You're right.
But you got anything to sum this thing up? Hey, matter of fact, so what's your score? I'm just curious, man. What do you thinking the score is?
Mm. You asked me this on the spot. Because I got to keep my same prediction from the last episode. I have neither one of them scoring over 30. So I'm going to say 28 24. 28 24.
Mm,
All
okay.
touch, all touchdown for the Chiefs. 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half.
Hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I think I am going to go with 38 to
Ooh.
yeah,
To what?
24.
I thought you said 20. I was about to say this guy here, boy.
38
38 to
24.
24. Hey, I'm not gonna beat you up on that. I mean, it's your pick.
Listen, I'm calling a 2-score game, Corey.
A 2-score game. Hey man, that would be a touchdown in my book. And we could look at how I think most Super Bowls are 1-score games though. I was gonna
Yeah.
call it in the what's the name, but I didn't think that was a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
I thought most Super Bowls are 1-score games. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
LT said 38-34. Golly, bro.
Hmm.
That probably the highest scoring Super Bowl. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. It been some high scoring Super Bowls. What was Brady won when he came back against golly.
I don't know, man. But go ahead, man. Let's bid these people farewell so we can get these lights off.
All right, again. We thank y'all for tuning in, and we thank y'all for being faithful members of this Much About Nothing podcast. I hope that we have brought forth the best analysis we can see forth. Y'all can go on the job and use them. Use them as your own, especially mine, because Hamps ain't too good. You can go up there and spin this thing and say, hey man, I think the Chiefs got a chance. You might not know this, but the Chiefs are the number 9 in rush defense. They might can slow these guys down. Use those pointers, man. I'm trying to tell you. These numbers out here can get you on the board, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
here, man. Hey, Corey, go how you the laughing stock of the water cooler. You start, you start talking this stuff Corey talking. They gonna be laughing at you at the water cooler.
Hey,
Uh,
man.
hey, but hey, look, man, we got Kevin in the building. I don't know who Hop Out Cam is, but man, thank you for
Yeah.
coming in, man. Rock with us, man. We'll be on Wednesday. Thank y'all. Again, Corey, go ahead and do yours so I can go ahead and sum this thing before we get out of here.
Hey guys, I just want to say about I love y'all, man. I thank y'all for tuning in, man. And much hey, God bless you, man. God keep you.
Man, and again, thank you. You supporting us gives an opportunity for us to get better. So thank you.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Wednesday, 9:30 sharp, like we are today. Uh, love you guys, and again, like always, love yours, man. It's yours. It don't get no better than that. We out.